And now, the Wad Fam Chalk Pod.
Hello and welcome to the Wad Fam Chalk Pod. I'm Dylan Weaver.
And I'm Andrew Sabo.
And we are here to talk about episode 329, The Return!
Of who? We don't know. Perhaps Brian Dern!
I think, no.
No?
No.
He didn't go away?
I don't think it's Brian Dern. I think he has been here for a bunch of episodes in a row, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair.
This is an episode written, directed, and guest featuring Phil Lawler.
Gotta love him.
Do we?
No.
I
think that I have a general amount of love for most of humanity.
Yeah,
if not
you know
all
what? That's
humanity.
fair. We're called to love our neighbors, and that's everyone. This episode first aired August 26th of 1995, and was episode 7 on album 25, Darkness Before Dawn.
Yeah.
What? Oh, cast-wise, we've got a lot of returning, like, nobody new, but a lot of people we already know in different parts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, our boy Corey Burton's pulling, like, quadruple duty on this episode. He is doing Brock Peterson, the news guy. He is doing Hank, the guy on the board of the council.
Yeah.
He's doing Brian Dern, as always, and he's also doing Shakespeare.
Poor guy. I really hope he got paid extra for this one.
I mean, Corey Burton's good.
Yeah.
So I hope he makes decent money. We've got Lynn Luttrell voicing Lorraine, whose barn gets spray painted.
Mm-hmm.
And she also, alongside Katie Lee, Jerry Hauser, and Bob Luttrell, voice the council members.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got Walker Edmonston as Mr. Gantry.
Indeed. What do we do now?
I typically play the promo.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just when you thought things couldn't get worse, Blackgaard is back. Coming up on Adventures in Odyssey, Dr. Regis Blackgaard returns to run for mayor. But is that all he wants? Fearing the worst, the gang at Wits End prepares for their biggest battle yet. Find out who's left standing when the smokescreen clears. Next time on Adventures in Odyssey.
Okay, so it just gave away the whole plot of the episode.
Yeah, no, it really does.
Like, what is, like, I'm looking at my notes as far as what happens in this episode, and they just, they just covered all of it.
No, I mean, there's some other stuff we'll be able to talk about, but yeah, maybe we just play the promo and then we play our outro, and that's the episode. You guys get 3 minutes of the Wad Fam Chalk Pod.
Woo!
No, I think it's a good episode, and we should talk about it.
Exactly.
Andrew,
Speaking of
how does
which.
this episode begin?
Should I do it?
What do you mean? I keyed you up
You
to
keyed
do
me
it.
to do it. Okay.
Why in the world would you
This
bail?
episode begins with Odyssey's favorite talk show, the Crying Brian Dern Show.
Featuring Crying Brian Dern.
Exactly. And a soundboard that is absolutely nuts.
Yeah. Well, he's zoo radio at its finest.
Oh yeah. What does a call that's been disconnected and our current mayor have in common?
That's
recall.
right. A recall.
Exactly. I hate how much I love this part of the show. Like, I absolutely love Crying Brian Dern. I mean, obviously, as the Chalk Squad probably knows, I adore this part of Adventures in Odyssey.
Yeah.
So basically, he's either talking about the recall, and then Dern lays down the gauntlet of, like, you know, I'm calling all people, anybody who wants to challenge Mayor Riley in this recall, like, somebody come take his spot. And is that where it ends? Is that where that part ends?
Yeah. It's It's not much of a scene, but you know,
it is a whole lot of a scene.
Yeah, it really is.
They fit like 20 sound bites into probably a minute and a half.
That's true. Zoo Radio. And then we cut to Blackgaard, not Regis, Edwin, going shop to shop and being confused by everyone being so friendly to him.
Yeah. And like, good to see you again. And he's like, I've never seen these people before. And that's when we learn Shakespeare's purpose, which is to keep Edwin from feeling lonely, so he has to interact with, normal people.
Yeah. To quote Edwin, "You know I loathe mixing with the common yokels. That's why I have you, Shakespeare."
Yeah.
Why? Why does Shakespeare put up with this?
That's a destructive relationship right there. That's
Like,
not good for him.
Shakespeare's honestly seems like a pretty good person, and Edwin consistently seems like
What
he's
is in
got-
it for Shakespeare? That's my question.
Right, exactly. Edwin's got all of the arrogance of someone who's really good at theater, but he also sucks.
Yeah, like, Shakespeare better be getting, like, tons of free stuff out of this. Like, he better not have to pay for his own flight and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know. That maybe that is the thing. Maybe.
It's like a sugar assistant, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like that. Nope.
No, it's perfect. I see no problems here, Andrew. I'm gonna print that on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And so
The views of Andrew Sabo do not reflect that of the Wad Fam Shock Pod.
or Adventures in Odyssey or Focus on the Family.
Or God.
Also.
Well, I wish they did. I think they do sometimes.
Yeah.
This is getting too personal. Quickly, back to the show. Back to the show.
So yeah, Edwin's just confused by all this. He's like, "All right, Shakespeare, we gotta hurry on our errand run. I have a 2:30 class on using emotions to manipulate your audience.
And when I'm late..."
That's true. You didn't finish that, Andrew?
No, I was setting you up.
Oh, I don't remember what the rest was.
Oh, when I'm late, they make me feel so guilty. Which is a genuinely good joke.
Yeah. And also, it's yeah. That joke didn't fully click for me in the episode. That is brilliant.
No, it's brilliant, and I've listened to the episode 4 times in preparation for this, and I will say,
Oh my
every
word.
time it held
4
up.
times, Andrew?
Well, okay, so I listened to it once a while ago, and then I listened to it once again recently, and then I listened to it again and did prep work, like did the stuff, and then when I was coming back from the gym, Brendan put it on in the car, and I was like, good God. This is my 4th time listening to this. And I will say, that bit got me every time.
That is really, really good, and I am mad that I didn't pick up on it.
Well,
so thank you, Andrew.
Anytime. You just got to listen to it 4 times.
No, but you said it got you every time. So
Yeah.
that means you got it the first time.
Yes.
And so, which makes you better than me.
It's too personal. Back to the show. Back to the show.
And so they then walk into the sign shop with Mr. Gantry, which I was immediately able... Like, I love getting to the point with Odyssey through this that I can tell who the voice actors are before, like, looking at the credits. And I was like, oh, it's Walker Edmonston.
Yeah,
and he's
it's
doing
Tom.
a really good job.
He sounds he sounds a bit like Ollivander from Harry Potter. Did you ever...
I've not seen the movies, just read the books.
Oh, okay. Well, the way that his voice sound when I read the books is always how like I imagined it in the movies, but it's different in the movies. But it's such a strange what is it? It's like deeply southern, but also like sniveling. Like how is a printer?
Which doesn't make sense for a British person.
Exactly.
But yeah, so he's he informs Edwin. He's like, no, I already told you this morning that your posters won't be ready until Friday. And he's like, that's unacceptable. But wait, I wasn't here this morning. I was Shakespeare. What was I doing? Oh, taking a mud bath.
It's good for the skin.
Yeah.
Also, where was I at 10 this morning? When I heard that, I was like, I don't. Let me think about that. Do I know where I was?
Oh, I know where I was at 10 this morning.
I was asleep, I'm pretty sure.
It's a Sunday, so I was at church like a good person.
Yeah, that's fair. That's the real problem about this whole coronavirus situation is that...
Yes, that's the real problem. And yeah, so then Edwin, actually, we can, someone has done the beautiful move to write down this whole exchange on the AIO wiki. So if you'd like, Andrew.
Oh, gladly.
Do you have a better Blacker, Edwin, or a better Shakespeare?
Just like me? Did you hear what he said? Shakespeare? Nah.
Yes, sir. Sir?
My good man, I'll have you know there is no one just like me.
Sir?
Edwin Blackgaard is one of a kind.
Sir!
Edwin Blackgaard is incomparable.
Sir!
Edwin Blackgaard is...
a twin!
Oh.
Just the... Shakespeare figures it out so quickly.
Yeah.
And Edwin's just like, yeah, I'm gonna monologue for a while about how I'm unique.
I mean,
It's
that's
like,
a move.
buddy, have you not run into this before? Like, literally the last episode we talked about with you in it was the one where everyone thought you were your brother.
Yep.
Now everyone thinks your brother is you.
Yep. The transitive property of twins.
And so then when he has that realization, he's like, "Oh shoot! All right, we're leaving town, buddy.
Yep.
Let's go. We're gonna take this show on the road. We've never done that before.
Yeah.
Let's go run by our place for 10 minutes, grab our stuff, and get out of here.
Blow this popsicle stand. Get out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Strike while the
Yep.
iron is hot. Make like a newborn and head out.
All right, keep going.
Nope. I run out.
That's where you tap out.
I chose to end on the disturbing birthing imagery.
You didn't have to draw attention to it, Andrew.
That's fair.
And so they then we then jump to Jack gardening and Jason dropping by. And it's a pretty brief exchange between the two of them.
Yeah.
Where Jason's just like, hey, like, you know, I'd love to have you back. And Jack's like, oh, it's been so good to have all this extra time to garden. And also...
Another reason to like Jack.
Yeah, gardening. But he's being incredibly passive-aggressive in a way that I found really frustrating.
Yeah.
And so Jason brings up that Glossman's trying to shut down Wit's End, which we kind of already knew, but...
What do you think that Jack is
attention
trying to
it.
convey, though?
I don't know. That's the problem.
Like, I think that Jack is playing the angle of giving him enough rope to hang himself kind of situation.
Right, but
And so
why?
The excuses
why not
that he's
just
making-
help him?
Well, because when he did try to help him, Jason was kind of insufferable.
He didn't try that hard, though.
No, he really didn't.
He gave up incredibly easy and has just since then just been in kind of a pissy mood and just been like coming across as kind of like, well, I'm better than you and you'll figure it out eventually. And it's like, just help him, man. Like, Jason's definitely in the wrong here, but like, Jack needs to do better.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, and the thing is that if it was just Jack and Jason that were directly affected by this, I would be like, well, Jack knows that Jason needs to learn this. But the thing is, if Jason makes a mistake, it hurts a lot of people.
Right, including, like, currently, Wit's End is being shut down. Like, is part of Jack, like, is part of Wit asking Jack to be there? Like, he's somewhat responsible for the shop. Like,
yeah.
What would Wit do if Jason called him and said, yeah, Jack quit the shop and Glossman's, you know, kicking us out.
WWWD. that can be our new merch.
Get that on a bracelet.
Hey, I mean, does Redbubble or Teespring do they do bracelets?
I don't think so, but I'll maybe investigate. And so the scene ends with Jack being like, "Hey, Jason, like just so we're clear, like there's a spiritual part to this battle, and we need to be aware of that, and we need to take time to pray." And then we cut out on that scene, and that's the last Jack's in this episode.
Yeah.
Like we don't we don't hear Jason's response to that, whether he's like, oh yeah, you're right, I forgot, or whether he's like, screw off, Jack, like, I don't need to do that.
No, it just kind of ends.
And
This episode is pretty long, though, isn't it? Is this 24 minutes?
It's a 24-minute episode. Yep, the backstretch of this album is going to be long.
Yeah. So then we cut to Shakespeare and Edwin coming back to the Harlequin, and then they open up the door, and who's there? But
No. They do not just open up the door. They are cleaning up.
Yes.
And gathering their stuff, and Edwin tells Shakespeare to grab this chest that is just full of his reviews.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, sir, I thought we were packing light. And then a slightly different sounding Edwin says, why don't you pack really light and take only the good reviews? And it's amazing.
Got him.
I love Blackgaard. That is the best possible entrance.
What a burn. What an absolute
It is
destruction.
Incredible. And so they have this back and forth, and Earl Bowen is killing it. According to the wiki, this is the only time that these two characters interact, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But he's doing such a good job with the nuance where, like, they definitely sound like it's obviously not a Bart and Tom thing, because they are the same, like, they are twins, so they need to sound the same. So all of the nuance is not in the way their voice sounds, but in, like, their tone and how they speak. Mm-hmm. And Edwin's just, like, has so much fear, and Regis just has this sense of, like, superiority and control, and it's amazing.
Yeah, no, he is, like, he's full mob boss in this. Like, his voice is impeccable. Like, he is terrifying. Like, so to kind of keep moving, they were talking about basically, like, Edwin's like, I'm trying to leave, I want to leave, and he's like terrified of his brother. And then Blackgaard is like, you know, you can either continue to help me, or I can make your life very miserable for you.
Yeah.
And like, whoa.
Right.
And then Edwin literally begs for mercy.
Right. He's just like, please let me leave. Like, I wanted to get out of here. And Blackgaard's also like, hey, like, thanks for laying in all the groundwork. I expected to come back here and be terrified, but you were here in the meantime, and everyone likes you. Like, you did a really good job restoring the Blackgaard name. And Edwin's like, well, most of that credit goes to the people of Odyssey being good people. Mm-hmm. And I liked that little exchange quite a bit as well. And then Blackgaard's like, all right, you can get out of here. And if you see Mumsy, mm-hmm. tell her she still owes me for the hip operation.
Yeah. Cold-blooded.
Yes, sir.
Absolute. You know, I mean, you watch Sherlock, right? Yeah. I get a very strong Moriarty vibe from Blackgaard.
Yeah, he is quite Moriarty, which, yeah, makes a ton of sense. But, yeah. Oh, it's so good.
It is. He's such a good, like, yeah. It's a shame that the promo absolutely spoils this episode, because, wow, it is, I mean, it's a really good one, and this is really good acting from whoever.
I mean, we knew from last episode that he was going to come back, because Bart and Rodney were all excited about it.
And scared.
Right. A very good combo. We talked about it. Listen to last episode. And anyways, then we jump to a scene. Unless you've got something else you want to say about that.
No, go for it.
All right, we jump to a scene between Connie and Jason, mm-hmm. where Jason's up in the office at Wit's End, and Connie rushes in and is like, "You have to turn on the Brian Dern show." Mm-hmm. And I just had this moment of like, is there someone always listening to the Brian Dern show in case there's actually something that matters that comes on?
Yeah, no, there must be.
Like,
or maybe it's on mainstream radio. It might be one of those things where it's like, if you listen to like talk radio or something like that is a part of it. And so
right, sure, but like it still has like a time slot, and so like he's definitely on public radio. There's no doubt there. But it's like you still have to tune in to hear the Brian Dern show.
And for how much they don't like him, it is very strange that they are always listening to him.
And it's like on the it'll always be like, oh, turn it up in the background of Wit's End, and it's like
there are children.
Right? Like imagine going to like I don't know you're like the your soda shop down or your ice cream shop downtown where all the kids hang out, and there's just like Rush Limbaugh's always on in the background.
Yeah.
Like what do you do with that? But this is also like this is a Christian place of like it's so funny. It's so funny to me.
It would be like at said ice cream shop. It was run by like incredibly progressive, like left leaning people, and they were listening to Rush Limbaugh. So it makes no sense.
Right. Like it's the gay couple who owns the ice cream shop downtown, and then in the background, quietly and occasionally turned up, conservative talk radio.
Love it.
It's great. No problems here.
Nope.
And so we then so they then do turn it on upstairs, and it is a special guest and announcing their candidacy, and Jason's like, yeah, it's just gonna be Bart again, whatever, who cares? And she's like, I don't know, it sounds like it's gonna be something different this time, and it's Dr. Regis Blackgaard.
Yeah. No, hello Odyssey, I've come home. Oh my lord, it's so good. And like the thing that Blackgaard does that's so genuinely impressive in this episode is like he manages, like he's super greasy, right? He's mob boss, always not held accountable for anything, but he manages to not only be not held accountable for his wrongdoings, but make an entire community of people believe that he was the victim.
Right. He is doing the same thing that no, he's not doing what we talk about with Glossman. We're like Glossman's Lex Luthor, but he is doing like I'm not actually the bad guy here. I was just a victim of circumstance kind of deal.
Yeah.
And it's really great. And so, he says the hello Odyssey, I've come home. And Connie yells, I can't believe it. And Jason goes, this is impossible. He's dead. And then we cut to commercial.
Yep.
And when we come back, there's this like very specific Odyssey music in the background, and I'm like, oh, we're coming back in on a news scene. And sure enough, it's Brock Peterson,
Channel 10 News. And it's
this is where Blackgaard's really like explaining his thing.
Yeah,
because the Brian Dern show is way more about the shock, whereas this is like, look, like everything that happened previously with me was just a misunderstanding. And Brock's asking him all about Blackgaard's castle. He's like, didn't your shop before burn down? That's where the Electric Palace is, right? Like, Brock seems to not know anything about Blackgaard's castle, which is really funny.
Or he knows a lot about it, and he's just trying to get... Brock is doing two things at once. He's being the
he might
recap
for
reporter, the actual audience, but he's also...
Yeah,
I don't know. It's well done, I think. I don't know. I genuinely... I would want to know what the broader community of Odyssey thought about Blackgaard when he left.
Right.
As opposed to just, like, the people that actually knew that he was a bad person.
Right. Yep. Yeah, is it just, like, our POV characters who think that he's a bad guy? Or was the whole town like, that man was up to some shady stuff? And it definitely seems like it's the former.
Yeah.
And so, he then just goes on about Blackgaard's castle for a while. He's like, it was burned to the ground. Kids were learning. He wants to, in general, just like restore forward thinking to Odyssey.
Yeah. So the whole thing is that like Blackgaard's whole angle is like, So, because Brock mentions, like, Wit's End, like, it's a discovery emporium and stuff like that. And Blackguard's whole thing is, like, yeah, like, you could say that we're competitors, but what our goals were very different. Like, I was very progressive, looking at, science and technology and, giving a place for kids to, I don't know, to learn and be a part of cutting-edge technology. And Wit's End is, your goody two-shoes mom and pop, conservative, whatever, no fun, kind of, like, super Bible thumping place. And he doesn't say it in as many words, but he does the thing where he's like, this is what I was doing, and well, you know what Wit's End was.
Right.
Or is, I should say.
Yeah. And then Blackguard says maybe the most bone-chilling line of recent Odyssey exploration for me, which is he's talking about, like, his plan for the city.
Yep.
And his mayoral candidacy. And he says he's going to return Odyssey to its former glory. Which, if you would like that in white text on a red t-shirt, the link will be in the description.
Yep. No, it's...
If I can figure out how to do hats, those will be up too.
Yeah.
But it is... I was like, oh, I made that joke already with Bart. But it's serious this time.
No, it's actually serious, and it's concerning. I remember,
and also take note, he's the villain, people.
Yeah,
he's the villain.
Well, and that's the thing where it's like, my issue more so with the focus on the family thing is, and maybe this is me reading into it too much, but I feel like there's very much an idea that progressive thought in politics is bad news, and leaving everything the way that it is the answer. And like the whole thing that Blackguard's is, he's coming at it from a purely secular perspective, and from the Christian perspective, clearly everything he's saying is wrong, even though, is it really? Like, is it wrong as a Christian to want to promote progressive thought and, experiencing and learning about the newest technology and things like that? But
no, we should all be, nobody should have a cell phone or a computer. We should all just telegraph to each other.
Exactly.
That's
bring back Morse code.
Can we get some love for horse and buggy from my neck of the woods?
Oh, yeah. Smoke screens, my guy. We could do smoke signals.
If you're going to drive a car, it better be all black.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I do drive an all-black car.
Yeah, me too. But not by religious conviction, just by
I would say
sheer
that mine's by religious conviction. When I pulled into that driveway and saw that Toyota Camry just shimmering there, it was a sight from God, I will say that. Now the listeners know I have no money.
And so give Andrew some money, buy our t-shirts.
But anyway, back on the whole returning Odyssey to its former glory, it was very interesting because before the aforementioned political figure ran for office, I was doing world history, and I was homeschooled, so I was using the Sunlight curriculum, and I was reading about the rise of Mussolini in Italy, and his whole big thing was bringing Italy back to its former glory. And then obviously things happen in the real world that kind of mimic that, and now it's happening in the show, and fascism is rough.
Yeah, not a big fan of fascists here on the Wad Fam Jock Pod.
Yeah,
and so
that's an official statement.
Yeah, no, that in that instance, the views of Andrew Sabo do reflect the. I cannot speak in, so I'm just quitting. And then the news report continues to go, but cutting away from Blackguard, we go to the scene with Lorraine Steeb, who's talking about her she was, stuck her head out last night, and she saw some kid in like biblical robes, and then like she came out the next morning, and her shed had been graffitied with some words so bad I don't think you can show them on TV.
Like butthead.
Dingus.
Shenanigans.
That took way too long and it wasn't good.
No, I know.
And so, and Brock Peterson ends on, has the good gang gone bad? I'm Brock Peterson, Channel 10 News.
Your Brock Peterson is it's a very good impression, I will say.
It's funny because Corey Burton is Brock Peterson and Brian Dern.
Yeah.
And you do a far better Dern, and whereas my time has gone into Brock Peterson. But
that's fine. To each their own. We all.
Both of them are so cadence based, which makes it really easy.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
Also, yeah, as stated probably a dozen times by now, my Brock Peterson is also my Link Wainwright.
Yeah.
And so.
Okay, wait one second before we move on. Right. Now, picture this. We get these. So apparently, the good gang has gone bad. Imagine Michael Jackson's Bad, the music video, but just Arabian janitors.
Okay. I'm imagining it. It's a pretty good mental image.
Yep. I'm here for it. I don't know how this could become a thing, but if it could, I'd be very happy.
Cosplay as the Israelites.
In Michael Jackson's Bad music video, yes.
Yeah, perfect. Somebody out there who leads a youth group, you've got an assignment now.
We can meet at a parking garage. I'm pretty sure that's where that was filmed.
And so they, we then jump to Jason and Connie, and Connie's like, okay, well, like here's what happened. The Israelite painted the shed, and then the Bones came by and spray painted it afterwards. And Jason's like, yeah, like of course I know this, but the news media doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love fake news. And then Connie's flipping out about the whole Blackgaard thing, and Jason's like, look, we don't want to jump to conclusions. Blackgaard might not actually be connected to all this. All we know is that he is in town trying to run for mayor.
Yeah.
And so he says that he's going to go over to the Harlequin to have a quick conversation with Edwin about all this.
But who waits for him is not Edwin.
Yes. Oh, also, wait, before he goes, Connie's like, also, why'd you say that Blackgaard was dead? And Jason's like, it's because I'm a really, really bad spy.
Yep, because anybody who runs against Tom Riley is dead. They don't stand a chance.
They didn't teach me to lie in spy school. I mean, what?
Yeah.
And then Connie ends on her classic line, nobody ever tells me anything.
I get no respect at all. A just tie for all of our Rodney Dangerfield fans out there.
And then Jason walks into the Harlequin. It's an all-black room. Yep. And from the shadows we hear, hiya, Jace.
Yep.
Which is our boy Jellyfish.
Yeah.
Well, my friends all call me Jellyfish, but you can call me Jellyfish.
I love it. I think it's so funny.
And then someone, I don't know, I assume Rodney, hits the spotlight. Mm-hmm. It goes on the stage, and Dr. Regis Blackgaard is sitting there with a lemonade.
Yep. No, it's so good.
My brother doesn't have great taste, but he does drink lemonade.
Yeah.
Would you like some?
Oh my gosh. And then the sound of like him swirling the ice in the cup.
Yep.
Like there's clearly so much ice.
Well, of course, you gotta drink your lemonade on the rocks.
Exactly. I mean, what is rocks? That has nothing to do with alcohol, correct? Yes? Okay.
My joke, but worse.
Yeah.
And so
That's what I do! It's too personal. Back to the show.
and so Blackgaard then explains how he's not dead, that the virus he had been injected with must have been exposed to air. It made him very sick, but it did not kill him. If for those of you who don't remember, this is a lie.
Yeah.
But it's a very good one.
I mean, it's perfectly plausible.
And then he explains that he's no longer with the European Security Agency. Jason then recaps what he found out about Blackgaard since being back in Odyssey, Blackgaard trying to steal applesauce, and the whole incident in Chicago, stealing the laptop. And then Blackgaard's like, yeah, but your father, in both instances, chose to destroy that software that could have been used for good, software that did not belong to him, belonged to the government. So, like, maybe I'm not that bad.
Yeah, well, he then pits it against Wit. He's like, no, he's the one who was stealing. Like, he robbed, the greater world of great, valuable technology and information.
Yeah. We were, we were always on the same side. I just wish I could see him and tell him that.
Eee.
And then he laughs sinisterly, which doesn't help matters. And Jason's like, if you're trying to, like, make me not like my dad, this is a bad tactic. And he's like, yeah, whatever. I'm untouchable. And the it's such a good exchange. I love it. But also, Jason at this point leaves.
Yeah. I don't know why, because he said that he was going to come there with, like, kind of good intentions.
Yeah.
And, like, he's just very brooding.
Well, yeah, I mean, he thought this person was dead.
That's fair.
He's not, like, he has every reason to be suspicious of Blackgaard. He just doesn't necessarily want to tie him to the gang. But also, Jason now 100% knows that Blackgaard is tied to the gang stuff because Jason knows about Jellyfish, and Jellyfish was there and recorded the entire conversation.
Ooh. Which I'm not sure how that's going to get used, to be honest with you. I genuinely don't remember. And when he said that he recorded it, I was like, what did he say that was so bad?
Yeah, nothing really. I mean, at one point, Blackgaard asks him for an endorsement, and he says, I'm not going to endorse you.
Yeah.
But the thing here is, once again, Jason is a bad spy. Like, at the end of all this, he absolutely needs to call this in.
Yeah.
He's not an agent anymore. Neither is Blackgaard. But he still has connections. He has every reason to call up Donovan or any of those Philby, Philby's bad, but any of those agency people and be like, hey, I just met Regis Blackgaard, the person we thought was dead. Did you guys also think he was dead? Just so we're all on the same page.
Yeah,
like this man
did you know that he was alive? Because
it's fine if you did. I understand how spies be sometimes, but I just want to verify because on the chance that you didn't, this is a big deal.
Yeah, no, this would be a great time for him to have that fancy phone.
Yeah, truly.
So and then we get kind of a villain monologue from Blackgaard being like, you're doomed. I've got this in the bag, basically.
Yep.
And then
Glossman shows up.
Yeah.
He's taking care of all of the council members.
Yeah.
Things are all set up, and then they both laugh maniacally.
Oh gosh. Which Glossman's maniacal laugh is bad.
Yeah.
He laughs at the end of this and ooh.
Oh, the final scene of this episode is the cheesiest thing on earth, but whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, then we go to a town council meeting.
Mm-hmm. Basically, they're, talking about the soil, and it opens with Glossman being like, hey, we don't know enough about this soil that's underneath Wit's End. There's this unknown compound. It could be dangerous.
A mysterious element.
And, we have rights as landowners to shut this down if we think that it's a threat. And so
For the record, even if they didn't own the land, if they thought there was a health and safety threat, they could still shut it down.
Yeah.
And if not, Odyssey needs to restructure.
That's what Blackgaard's for.
Yeah. He's gonna return Odyssey to its former glory.
Exactly. Nobody's uncomfortable here, certainly not me.
Nope. And so, yeah.
And then, Tom kind of comes against it, and he's like, there's no proof that anything is bad here. Like, this, nobody's got sick from playing at Wit's End. And to which I was thinking, wait a minute, what about the Edgebiter thing? What about that? And that's when Glossman comes in and is like, well, you have vested interest in Wit's End personally. You've managed it. Oh, by the way, Edgebiter Chemical Company, shot a little there below the belt. Try and knock out his character.
And everyone's like, whoa, careful there.
Yeah. Hold your horses. Let's not be hasty. Yeah, and then basically, Glossman's just going at Tom, basically being like, oh, by the way, like, this is a personal matter. You are not objective in this.
Right.
And so, therefore, your authority as mayor is kind of moot.
Right. And I think in an incredible move on the part of the show, Hank agrees.
Yeah.
Who Hank is like the head councilman.
Yeah.
Like the chairman of the council. I don't know what his official title is, but he is
Master in Chief.
We've seen throughout a lot of these episodes, he's a good guy. Like, he and Tom are on the same page for a lot of stuff. And so he's like, I'm going to, I have to agree with Glossman here. He's not playing well, but like, he is correct. You're too invested in this, Tom. We just need to take our vote.
Yeah. And Tom's like, no, like, let's, hold off on it. Like, are we really going to do this? And Hank's like, nope, we're doing this now, and it needs to be done with. And then it comes down to Hank and, yay or nay, and...
Hank
so we votes to close Wit's End.
Yeah, we have all of our council members take their votes. Mr. Grisham, Miss Turner, Mr. Porth, Ms. Jackson.
Ms.
Did Outcast rip off Odyssey? Is that what I'm hearing here? They heard Ms. Jackson as a council member who voted for
Confirmed
or against
stolen bit.
This, and they just ran with that. You know what, Phil Lawler and Paul McCusker, I suggest you go after Outcast.
Yeah.
Take down Biggie Boy. Take down Andre 3000. Make him pay.
He needs to. The man's been running wild for too long.
Yeah. And so Hank is the deciding vote and decides yes, we need to close Wit's End.
Yep. And then we get this great transition.
We cut to a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Where Glossman, in the rain, in the McAllister Park outside of Wit's End, is nailing a sign into the ground stating that Wit's End is closed while monologuing.
Yeah, okay. But wait a minute. Because what happens is when they vote to close Wit's End, there's uproar in the council room. And so the guy's banging his gavel, and then the banging of gavel turns into, Glossman
Thunder.
evil monologuing while posting a sign.
Right, while banging the sign into the ground.
Yeah.
And his monologue is, there we go, a fine-looking sign. By the order of Odyssey until further notice, Wit's End is closed.
Dun, dun, dun.
Credits!
Yep.
That's the episode.
That's it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it.
It's a lot of plot.
4 whole times I enjoyed it.
As we, often have in these episodes.
Mm-hmm.
It is a really, it's a great episode.
There's a lot going on. There's honestly the only part that I don't like is Jack, and it's a small part.
The Jack stuff continues to be tough.
Yeah,
but we are just plowing through. Like, once again, it's almost all plot. There's not.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's worth noting. I mean, we've got 5 more episodes, and then Blackgaard's return.
5 more. You mean Blackgaard's Revenge?
Oh, Blackgaard's Revenge. Sorry.
Yes. We are coming down the home stretch. By the end of July, I think we will have wrapped the Blackgaard Chronicles.
Yeah, which is crazy. It doesn't feel like we've been doing it for that long, but
I think it's because the episodes are kind of so disconnected in so many ways.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we're gonna go back and cover the Novacom saga again after this.
No, we are not, Andrew. No, we are not.
Nope. I would sooner cut off one of my hands, probably.
Wow.
I got strong feelings.
Nope. I don't think I'd go that far.
I got really burnt out by Novacom by the end of it.
Well, the Connie and Mitch stuff burnt me out. Novacom itself kept me going pretty strong.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But the Connie and Mitch stuff, that was a solid 12 episodes.
Yeah, and then 3 more Eugene.
Yep.
Yeah. Whatever. We made it work.
We did, and the faithful Chalk Squad has stuck with us.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, guys.
Yeah, we really like you guys. We do.
Just a wee bit.
Yeah. It's so funny. I was talking to my parents yesterday at dinner, and I was like, "Yeah, we get mail." And my parents, who don't think of me as anything other than who I am at the house, they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I think in their head, still only 2 people listen to the show.
I mean, that should be the case.
Yeah, arguably, yeah.
There is absolutely no reason we should have this many listeners.
But I appreciate it.
Yeah, I
genuinely do. And I'm proud of the product we put out. I think that we do a good job.
Yeah, and I'm glad you guys continue to listen.
Yeah.
This got weirdly sincere.
Too personal. Back to the episode.
There it is. Yeah, so any other final thoughts for the episode, Andrew?
The soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Oh, yeah,
the
we
music
didn't
in
even
this
talk about
episode
that.
is so good.
It is great.
Yeah.
The underscoring, the Blackgaard stuff, especially the scene where he and Edwin are talking initially, is so well orchestrated. Mm-hmm. It's great.
No, I'm thoroughly pleased with the score in this episode, and I'm really excited. I'm excited to see what happens next. I've got good feelings about this one, and hopefully the next one is just as good, if not better. So
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
Did we have any iTunes reviews?
We do not have any new iTunes reviews. I would like to point out that this episode is a 94%, which is less than the last 2, which is interesting.
Bump that up. Talk Squad, bump it up.
I don't know what else to say about this episode. So,
do you have anything to promote, Dylan?
I don't. Oh, yes, I do, sir.
Hey,
I'm here to promote. So, longtime listeners to the podcast, the OG Chalk Squatters, may be aware of the fact that I used to run a Instagram account that also cross-posted with Twitter of bad reviews that I had found on Redbox.
Yes.
Just making fun of them and that. And in December of this past year, that kind of died out. I just lost motivation. I had my own template for it, and I had to do it from a computer, and it just became this thing that I just didn't want to do as much. And now it's back in a new and more niche format. It probably, I don't know. Who knows? It might burn out again. But for now, you can follow Redbox Reviews on Letterboxd.
There you go.
A site that is purely for movie reviews. And so I'm working to get some of that to cross-post onto Twitter. I'm not sure what will happen with that. But for the meantime, if you've got a Letterboxd account, you can go follow that. And if you don't have a Letterboxd account, maybe create one and go follow Redbox Reviews and myself while you're at it. DJ Weaver 29 on Letterboxd. If you want to hear my takes on movies, that's a thing we're doing over there.
Okay. I feel bad. I don't have Letterboxd, but I will get it for this purpose.
You don't have to feel bad, Andrew.
No, I do a little bit, and it's only because I this is something that you're really good at, and I want to support you in it.
Oh, thanks, buddy. And if you're interested, a friend of the show, Nathan Haverstick, also on Letterboxd.
There you go.
So.
Voices featured at the beginning and end of most episodes.
Yes, this one in fact as well. So,
that being said, want to bring us out, Dylan?
Yeah. I guess that's where we end. Next episode is a doozy. So we will be back next week talking about episode 330. The time has come. Goodbye,
bye,
friends.
guys.
Wadfam Chalk Pod is a presentation of the Lidditz Podcast Co-op. This show is a fan podcast and has no official affiliation with Adventures in Odyssey or Focus on the Family. As such, the copyright is ours under Creative Commons. Follow the podcast at WadFamChalkPod on Twitter and Instagram, or email us at wadfamchalkpod@gmail.com. The Return was hosted by Dylan Weaver and Andrew Sabo, and edited by Dylan Weaver. And I'm Nathan Haverstick, hoping you'll join us again next time for more of the Wadfam Chalk Pod.